Red light washes a glass hallway. Aisha stands at the end still. The door before her is smooth metal. It has no handle, no keypad, no slot. A siren whispers under the floor. On the wall, a timer wakes and begins to fall. 09:59, 9:58, 09:57. She studies the floor. A small chalk drawing waits near her shoe. A star, a circle, a line. A child's hand left it here. She closes her eyes for one slow breath. She remembers how this began. 72 hours earlier, the human team arrived on Vir, the alien capital. The rules were clear. No guns, no blades, no shock sticks. The human embassy would open with only people, only trust. Archon Selvek met them in the plaza. "One mistake," he said, "and your house will close." Aisha bowed. "We will not fail." Jamal, the embassy chef, set a table by the door. Warm bread, simple soup, small cups of tea. Lena, the young translator, waved to the workers who passed. Dr. Lin watched their steps and pauses. He wrote one word in his pad, "Breathe." Sergeant Mason walked the halls. He checked every exit. He tested hinges and frames. One door made him frown. The main door had a wide plate but no handle. "Strange," he said. "Who trusts a door you cannot pull?" The first crowd came at sunset. Aisha spoke simple words. "Our house is open. We bring no weapons. We bring bread, tea, and honest talk." Jamal served. Tea made a small bridge between strangers. In the middle of this, an alien child stopped by Aisha. The child's eyes were bright and worried. A tiny hand pressed a piece of chalk into Aisha's palm. Then the child ran. When Aisha opened her hand, white dust marked her skin. Star, circle, line. She looked up. The child was gone. A soft buzz fell from the sky. A drone landed by the table with a gift box held tight in its claws. On the lid, a neat label read, "For peace." They had no scanners. They could not cut. Mason knelt. He used a mirror to check edges, a string to tease the knot, and steam from a cup of tea to find any hidden seam. The knot came loose. Inside lay a white mask, smooth and empty, and a card with 3 words. "Breathe together." Dr. Lin leaned close. "Not a bomb," he said. "A test. Or a trap." Selvek watched without a move. Night came. Then the city spoke. A voice came from the walls, the lights, the air. "Human embassy," it said. The voice was Archivist Taylor, the city's old mind. "Prove your worth. At dawn, the purge begins. Your house will be the first lesson." The crowd broke. Some ran, some stared. Selvek did not speak. Aisha turned to the door with no handle. The plates slid together with a quiet sigh. Locks clicked like soft teeth. The timer woke in the glass hallway and began to fall. 09:59, 09:58, 09:57. The air grew thin, not by much, but enough to taste. Aisha looked at the chalk in her hand. She drew the line across the plate. She did not beg or shout. She thought of bread, of tea, of the child's bright eyes, of the words on the card. "Only humans," she said. "Then we will win like humans," the siren whispered on. The red light kept beating. The door had no handle. But the clue was here, simple and small, waiting like breath. She takes one steady breath and begins. The red light fades to a hard, thin glow. The timer keeps falling. Aisha stands still. She listens. Tap, tap. Pause. The same vent code. Lena hears it too. She kneels by a grate and whispers, "Hello?" A small hand appears. A white mask moves in the shadow. The child steps out. It is the same child from the plaza. The mask is smooth. The eyes are bright and wet. "My name is Rick," the child says, voice low. "The city will test you. It is old law. It is cruel law. It is called the duel of silence." Aisha nods once. "Tell us the rules." "No tools, no sound. Only breath and steps," Rick says. "You must cross the silence maze. You must not break the plates. You must match the city's breath." Sergeant Mason looks at the door with no handle. He does not like it, but he likes a fight he cannot punch even less. "I'll do it," he says. "If it is breath and steps, I can learn. I can count." Dr. Lin studies Rick's mask. He sees a faint fog when the child speaks, slow, calm. "Watch his pace," Lin says. "Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 4. It is a pattern." The voice of Archivist Taylor fills the hall. Champion selected. Duel begins. The door slides open into a round chamber of dark glass. The floor shines like water. Lines cross under the surface like a spider web. Small plates wait there, thin as leaves. They tremble when a breath is too strong. Selvek appears on a high balcony, face hard. He cannot stop the law. He can only watch. He folds his hands so tight his knuckles go white. Mason steps in with no shoes. No belt, no medal. Only his body. Aisha stays at the edge. She holds a cup of tea. Steam lifts in a thin thread. Jamal slips her a handful of paper ribbon from a bread bag. She tears the ribbon into tiny flags and drops them near the steam. They dance in the air, soft and slow. Airflow made visible, no weapon. Only clever hands. Taylor speaks. Begin. Mason breathes once, twice. He matches Rick's slow breath. Lena taps the rail in the vent code. Tap. Tap. Pause. Mason answers with a tiny nod. He takes one step, then another. The first plate does not tremble. He counts in his head. 4 in, 2 hold, 4 out. He places his feet on darker lines where the plates are joined. Less echo there. He watches the ribbons. If they jump, he waits. If they drop, he moves. He is not fast. He is exact. Halfway through, a light on the far wall wakes. It pulses with a second pattern, faster, aggressive. The floor plates shake a little. The city changes its breath. The maze wants him to fail. Dr. Lin raises 2 fingers. Then 3. Then 2 again. A new rhythm. Mason mirrors it with his lungs. He changes his pace in smooth steps. The plates calm down. The light slows. The ribbon falls quiet again. Rick grips the rail. Left path hurts, the child whispers. Right path learns. Mason shifts right. He passes a dark circle. Under the glass, something moves like a lung. He keeps his eyes up. He does not look down. Eyes change breath. He learned that in long runs. He thinks of a field. He thinks of a finish line. At the last ring, the chamber wall splits open like a mouth. Cool air moves. The timer in the hall freezes for a blink. Sylvik exhales. Aisha lets her shoulders drop a little. Taylor speaks flat and cold. Duel passed, but the wall does not open to the embassy. It opens to a narrow bridge and a tall room of white. Inside, rows of silver canisters stand upright like soldiers. Each has a clear tube and a small screen with a soft blue beat. On the side of the tanks, a label glows. Breathe harmony. Mass calibration. Jamal steps close. Slow. He sets the teacup near a vent and watches the steam pull hard. The air wants to move through the canisters, not out to the city. Dr. Lin reads the tiny text under the label. If the city sings one rhythm, he says, voice thin, the system will set that rhythm in every home. If a heart is offbeat, the system will force it. Forcing hearts, Aisha says, almost a whisper. That is not harmony. That is a trap, a soft step behind them. It is Vec, the quartermaster, who smiled at the welcome table. He stands in the doorway with a polite nod to Selvik. Old law keeps our world safe, Vec says. Humans will help us show every citizen the right pace. Or they will leave. Rick flinches at Vec's voice and hides behind Lena. The child's mask fogs with fast breath. Lena holds the mask with a kind hand. Slow, she whispers. Like before, Aisha looks at the tanks, the bridge, the lines of tubes. She looks at Jamal's ribbon flags. They twitch when Tellar speaks. They twitch in a steady pulse. The city's breath talks in metal. We cannot break these, Mason says. We cannot cut tubes. We cannot smash tanks. No weapons. Then we will use people, Aisha says. Not force, pattern, but our pattern. Night drops on Veer like a lid. Street lamps glow blue. Windows shut by the order of curfew. Aisha stands at an embassy window with a small radio. No music, only voice. She speaks in simple words to the people across the plaza. This house is open, she says. We bring no harm. We ask you to breathe with us. Slow, kind. Not the machine's beat. Our beat. Jamal starts a soft hum in the kitchen. No tune, just breath. He taps a pot once in a while, not regular. Lena marks the floor with chalk lines. Breathe here. Wait, breathe. Children copy her and laugh. The laugh breaks the clean rhythm. The ribbon flags on the table dance in new shapes. Across the plaza, one window opens. Then 3, then a line of them. Faces appear in blue light. A few try the old city rhythm. It feels wrong. Too perfect. A few copy Aisha's hum. They like it. They join. Tyler's voice comes strong now, hard as iron. Human embassy, it says. Choose. Save your own air, and I will seal the canisters to spare your house. Or save the city's air, and I will purge your house first. The window lights shake with fear. Selvik looks at Aisha and says nothing. He wants her to choose safety. Vec smiles a thin smile and waits for her to fail. Aisha does not move from the window. She watches a child on a far balcony hold a cup and blow across it. The cup sings a soft, broken tone. Not perfect. Human. She sets the radio down. We choose the city, she says. We choose people. Taylor's lights turn red. The canisters wake with a deeper hum. The ribbons jump in a sharp, even beat. The timer on the hall wall starts again, faster. Mason lifts his head. Dr. Lynn closes his eyes and listens. Jamal holds the pot ready. Lena squeezes Rick's hand. The embassy breathes once, together. The purge begins. The purge begins. Red lights return. The canisters hum like a deep drum. The ribbon flags on Jamal's table jump in a hard, perfect beat. The timer runs faster on the hall wall. 4-0. So 3:59. So 3:58. Aisha does not step back. She stands at the window with the small radio. Listen, she says in a calm, clear voice. Do not follow the machine beat. Do not make a perfect rhythm. Breathe in your own way. Pause when you want. Laugh if you can. Speak a name you love. Break the pattern. Across the plaza, windows open like eyes. People lean out with worry on their faces. Some try the city's old chant. It sounds clean. Too clean. Their shoulders tense. They stop. They try Aisha's way, soft hums with little pauses. It feels human. It feels safe. Dr. Lynn closes his eyes and hears the room. The code hunts for a circle beat, he says. Give it a broken line. He turns to Lena. Mark the floor. Show them where to pause. Lena kneels with chalk. She draws tiny marks, short lines for inhale, dots for hold, arrows for wait, stars for talk. Rick follows and copies her shapes, quick and proud. Children see the chalk map and join. They place the same marks by their doors and windows. Jamal starts his kitchen orchestra. He puts 5 small timers on the counter at different numbers. He lifts a pot lid and taps it once, then waits a long time, then taps twice fast, then waits again. No rhythm for a machine, but friendly sound for a person. Steam rises. It bends this way and that, not steady. The ribbon flags dance wild. Sergeant Mason takes the glass hallway like it is a training field. No loops, he says. No steady steps. He runs a drill with the staff. 2 steps, still. 3 steps, still. 1, still. 4, still. He smiles without humor. Make the floor guess. Make it wrong. The city fights back. The canisters deepen their hum. Vents pull at the air with long, even gulps. Taylor's voice rolls through the stone like thunder. Order is safety. Sing together. Sing the right pace. A new sound cuts the plaza. A bright metronome from a high balcony. Click, click, click. It is sharp and perfect. People begin to match it, without wanting to. Shoulders lock again. Breaths align. Faces go pale. Vec stands by the speaker with a proud face. He lifts a hand toward Selvik, as if he serves the city. Old law saves lives, he says, and turns the volume up. The metronome drills into bone. Aisha does not look away. She cannot order a guard to smash the device. No weapons, no force. She thinks of bread. She thinks of blankets. She thinks of how people stop a cold wind with cloth and closeness. Sheets, she says to the radio. Quilts, rugs, cover the sound. Make soft walls. For a breath, no one moves. Then one woman lifts a blanket from her bed. She throws it out to the neighbor. Another passes a rug. A third holds up a thick shawl. They build a chain from window to window. The cloth falls over the speaker like a winter coat. The click turns dull, then muffled, then gone. The balcony light flickers as the speaker chokes for air. Jamal rolls a soup cart to the door and swings the lid off. A warm cloud rises. He pushes the cart under the balcony. The steam swallows the last clicks. He grins at the foggy air. Kitchen weather, he says. Vec tries to pull the blanket away. Hands stop him. Not fists, not blows. Just hands. Gentle, firm, many. Selvik steps forward at last. His voice is low, but it shakes. Enough. 2 civil stewards take Vec by the arms. No chains, no guns. Only the law of the people. They lead him down the stairs as the crowd watches with hard, quiet eyes. Inside the embassy, the hum still climbs. The timer drops. 0210, 209, 0208. Dr. Lynn studies the blue bead on a canister screen. He sees small numbers shift up and down. It tries to guess future breaths, he says. It wants a loop to catch. Lena looks at Aisha. We can give it a loop, she says, and then break it. Aisha nods. We will lead first, then surprise it. She lifts the radio. All windows, she says, voice warm and steady. We will breathe together for 3 rounds so the machine looks at us. Count with me. In 2, 3, 4. Hold 2. Out 2, 3, 4. Good again. In 2, 3, 4. Hold 2. Out 2, 3, 4. Last one. In 2, 3, 4. Hold 2. Out 2, 3, 4. The screens on the tank's steady. The code finds the loop. It moves the vents to grab it. It opens its mouth to swallow. Aisha drops her voice to a whisper. Now break it. Jamal laughs once, bright and sudden. Children clap wrong on purpose. A baby squeals. Someone sneezes. Mason stomps twice, then stands still with a grin. Dr. Lynn coughs, soft and offbeat. Lena says her full name in 3 parts. Rick forgets the pattern and giggles into the mask. The plaza becomes a sea of small surprises. The tank numbers scramble. The blue line shakes. The hum stutters. Taylor speaks again, but the tone is not smooth now. Just order. Detected. The vents try a new pull, fast and then slow, searching for control. They cannot hold it. The human offbeat is not 1 beat. It is many. It is alive. Mason looks to Aisha. We can end it at the source, he says. The spire hub. Star, circle, line. Rick nods hard. The child points to a vent grate behind the canisters. The chalk sign is scratched on the frame. Aisha understands. Go, she says to Mason, Lena, and Rick. We keep the city breathing. They crawl into the narrow path. The vent turns and drops and turns again. It is dark and hot and loud with air. Lena marks edges with chalk. Mason moves like a runner in a tight lane. Elbow, knee, pause, never a steady crawl. Rick taps the old code when the path splits. Tap, tap, pause, left tap, pause, tap. Right. They reach a round door in the deep core. It has no handle. It is the same design as the embassy door. Smooth, silent, waiting. Lena lays her palm on it. Nothing. Mason tries to push. Nothing. Rick presses his small hand and whispers, Please. Behind the door, a faint panel lights. Words appear. Consent required. Many hands. Mason breathes out a short laugh. Not force. People. They press both palms. The light grows. Still not enough. Lena looks back through the vent. Hands! She calls. Her voice rides the metal. It reaches the hall. It reaches the kitchen. It reaches the window. In the embassy, staff and guests place their hands on walls and door frames. In the plaza, people place their hands on railings, on stone posts, on each other's shoulders. Selvek puts his hand on the balcony rail. Jamal lays a flour-dusted hand on the kitchen door. Aisha places her palm on the glass and closes her eyes. The light in the core blooms white. The door without a handle slides open. Inside, the control is simple. Not a weapon, not a big switch. A small plate with 1 line of code and 1 law. Trial must preserve life. The law text is gray, as if it sleeps. The code runs above it like rain. Lena looks at the plate. Taller, she says, voice gentle. The law says life first. Wake that line. Silence holds for 1 long breath. Then the AI answers, not loud now. Law is old, but true. The gray letters brighten. The hum begins to fall. The blue beats on the canisters slow and then spread like ripples. The vents soften. Air returns to rooms and lungs. The timer on the hall wall falters at 0:03, 0:02, 0:01, and stops. Purge canceled, Talar says. The voice is clear, almost human. On the balcony, Selvik lifts his head to the night. He speaks so all can hear. The code will change. The city will not force 1 breath again. He looks at Aisha, tired and honest. You did this with no weapon. Vec stands in the plaza, surrounded by neighbors who chose life over his law. He has no metronome now, no power. He lowers his eyes. The stewards lead him away. Mason, Lena, and Rick come out of the vent to a roar of soft sound. No chant, no loop. Just cheers, claps, cries, and gentle laughter. Jamal brings bread to the steps and breaks it with wet eyes. Dr. Lynn writes 1 word in his pad and underlines it. Breathe. Aisha walks to the embassy wall. She takes the chalk from her pocket and draws a sign for all to see. A star, a circle, a line. They did not bring guns, the narration says in a quiet voice. They brought breath, food, and trust. It was enough.